everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Saturday, February 15, 2025. I needed to come here and do a part 2, I guess you can say, of this case. I believe it was late in December of last year. I came here and told you about this woman in Brazil who had baked a cake, and some of her family members gotten sick, and I believe 2 of them passed away. And then it was discovered that something happened to another member of the family months ago. But now the shocking breaking news is, you guys, you won't believe it if you have followed the story. The woman was actually eventually arrested in early January, and after being detained and waiting trial in a Brazilian prison, this lady was found dead 2 days ago. Okay, so let's talk about it, okay? But before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who has been subscribing on YouTube. Don't forget to do so, and also leave a comment there. And also thank you to everybody who listens to this podcast using Spotify. Please follow me on Spotify. Also, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. So this is very alarming. Something definitely is going on. It was alarming to know that this had happened in the past, but now after she was awaiting trial, this woman was found dead in the jail cell. So let me just read to you exactly what happened. The Brazilian woman, says here, who killed 3 relatives with a poison Christmas cake, is found dead in her jail cell. The Brazilian woman accused of killing 3 relatives with a poison cake was found dead. Her name was Deis Mora dos Anjos. She was just 42 years old. Was found lifeless in her cell at the women's prison in Guaiba, on the outskirts of the southern city of Porto Alegre, this morning. And this is 2 days ago, so that was February the 13th. You know, I remember the story. They were saying how it was a vacation home, so you know that when she came back, she just decided to bake this cake, and she didn't really. It could have been some type of contamination with the ingredients that happened, but it's very alarming that now the prime suspect was found dead in the jail cell. Okay. Police chiefs say that they are treating the death as a self-inflicted. I don't want to say the word here, but you guys can understand what I mean. And sources at the Regional Emergency Response Services say she appeared to have, she has appeared to do it herself. I'm being very cautious about the wording here. So if you want to know exactly how she was found, that you can research that. But just to be cautious, I'm not gonna say, but seems to be a self-inflicted type of situation. And it says here, Days was remanded in prison on January 6th on suspicion of 3 murders and 3 attempted murders. Okay, her mother-in-law Celis had baked the cake eaten by several relatives late on December 23, 2024, and later found to have been contaminated with arsenic-laced flour. The victim, including Sally, took several bites and found that it had a spicy flavor. As the family gathered for coffee, Police Chief Marcos said at that time. Sally, 61, was hospitalized but survived. Her sister, Mayra Bernice Flores, 58, siblings Neusa Denise Silva, 65, and Neusa's daughter Tatiana dos Santos, 43, died within hours of eating that cake. Tatiana, 10-year-old son Matthews, which was the main suspect, great nephew, was also taken into intensive care and spent several days in the hospital. Mayra's husband Jefferson needed hospital treatment too. Days was protecting her innocence, but police branded her an alleged serial killer after her arrest. Days Mora was found lifeless in her cell at the women's prison in Guayba on the outskirts of southern city of Porto Alegre. Here's a photo. I mean, you can see this cake. I'm looking at it right now. I think I show you guys the photo when I make the video before in early January. It's just so crazy, you guys. It says here that the husband said, "We are astonished by the news. We only just heard about it. How can this happen? So much you have been watching her, and it's just reliving the tragedy of what happened to my brother and the rest of the family all over again. She may have avoided justice, but now hopefully in the next life she's being punished for all the evil misery she caused us. What really hurts everyone is that her son will grow up without a mother, but this is the type of woman she was then. Maybe it's for the better. She was alone in the cell when she was found dead. Police and prison authorities will now carry out separate investigation into her death. Police in Torres in southern Brazil, where the 3 poison victims died, said at a press conference after her detention the evidence they had against her was robust. Forensic experts confirmed after Day's arrest early last month the cause of death of the victims was arsenic poisoning. Arsenic poisoning, like I was probably mispronouncing that, you guys. It says here that Margaret Midman, director of Rio Grande Forensic Institute, said the source of the arsenic poisoning was the cake eaten by the victims, and the source of the contamination of the cake was the flour found in Celi's house in Arrojo do Sol. So she revealed tests on the victims' urine and blood samples, as well as the contents on their stomachs, have revealed fatal levels of arsenic up to 350 times higher than those would be regardless as natural occurring. She added extremely high levels of arsenic were found in the test done on the 3 people who died after eating that cake. There were such high levels they were considered toxic and lethal. Before her death this morning, Brazilian detective has said they were confident she would probably not leave prison in her lifetime with the evidence they had on her so far. Day's lawyer said for the first time on behalf of her client shortly after her arrest, and then unconfirmed reports the evidence against her included records of online searches of arsenic she allegedly made from her phone. Everything was all preliminary. There are still questions to be answered. What caused the link between the poison and Days? There's no explanation how the flour ended up in Celi's house or where or how it was acquired. So this woman, I always tell you, she was definitely avoiding justice. She knows she got caught. Usually we see this is a repeated behavior of people who are guilty of something evil, especially when they get caught and they are detained, and then this is what they do. You know who's coming to my mind? Fotistulos. Clearly, this man played the game for maybe 8 months, telling police he had no idea, and then when the evidence was so in his face basically, and he was arrested and charged, then he basically, when he had a chance, he basically took his own life, right? So this is what happened. Just the day before, she learned what probably the detectives say. They had a lot of evidence on her. They have searches about the arsenic search on the internet that she did on her phone. And they were saying she's never gonna leave the prison in her lifetime. She is so guilty of everything. And then this is what she did, right? It's almost like, oh, she got caught, then she's not gonna face more jail time, right? Usually when people do this, they play into they get caught, and then they feel like they hit a wall, and they don't want to face the justice, right? So now they gotta face the law, right? So it's just crazy how, you guys, there's a lot of evilness in this world. Look at this. You go to this place, you go to celebrate Christmas, and this woman is baking a cake. I mean, right? When it comes to like cake and flowers, everybody's so welcoming. That's why you have to be so careful, even receiving things, right? This woman, you know what it is to open your doors to people and to like prepare a meal for them, and this is what you're searching on your phone about poisoning people? Like, that's crazy. And people do it until they get caught, right? And this is what thank God it wasn't discovered like it wasn't discovered like 20 years after it happened, and then she was probably dead by then, right? Meaning, like, a lot of these cases that we hear about something like this, perhaps in the past, it could have taken years for it to even come to like to finally figure out what actually happened. And this is what I feel like, there's a spirit that's operating, that even before in the past where people were able to get away with something, God is just revealing them, right? And it's almost like the game is up, right? Time's up. Everything will be revealed. Things that probably in the past people were able to get away with, something evil. Now they're, thanks be to God, they're no longer able to do something like that. They're being exposed clearly. It's just crazy that she's 42 years old, and this is what this woman was thinking in her mind. And people are gonna say, well, she never got to trial. They had enough evidence. You know what it is that they examined? They examined the people's what they had in their stomach right after the autopsy, and they found that they had higher level of arsenic poisoning in them, right? And then, like, it's not like you must know your ingredients to be searching something like that. Who search about arsenic poisoning, right? Unless you're intentionally planning to do something evil with that, right? I don't know really what it's used for, but unless you're like a chemist or like somebody who knows what they're doing with that, why are you searching that? And then look how the people that you invited to eat cake at your house, how did they die, right? It's just crazy. And this woman got caught, and she couldn't face the consequences of her actions. There's a lot. You don't think that all these things that are being presented to the world, that's why you have to be so careful what you watch on TV, right? Because movies and television always make people believe that some evildoers always get away. They never get caught, right? And what happens with that? People become obsessive. Let's just say, like watching Netflix or something like that. All these crazy crime things that are fiction, right? But people are so obsessed with it, and they think that they can actually do in real life and still get away with it. And then this is what happens, right? Look at what they've done. Look at what she has done. So it's just crazy. It's just so sad, you guys. Let me see what people are saying here in the comments. If I can get to the comments. I just want to see what people are saying, because this is very, when I heard that, I was like, wow. And that is the answer right there. I do understand that a lot of people who are waiting trial in jail, when they decide to go that route like she did, not all of them are 100% guilty. I get that, right? But the majority of them are. That's why they do that, right? So let me just see here. Okay, so it's not letting me see the shot for some reason, but so she was the daughter-in-law of the woman who baked the cake. So she was like the daughter-in-law of the woman who baked the cake. So I wonder if there's some type of conspiracy between the two, right? I was just trying to see. She was in prison starting January the 6th on suspicion of 3 murders, as well as 3 counts of attempted murder. So the person who actually baked the cake, her name is Sally Silva dos Anjos, 61 years old. She also was hospitalized, and right now she's in stable condition, but she also ate the cake. So maybe she was definitely framing her or something, because it was found in the flour that was used to bake the cake. So she was definitely planning something evil against her mother-in-law, I guess. They say that the members of the group complained that the cake tasted bittery and peppery, and after eating it, within minutes they were all vomiting. Multiple ambulances were called and they were rushed to the hospital. Reports reveal arsenic was found in the blood of the victims. Let me see something. She said that the person who baked the cake, she normally will do that for every festive occasion, including Christmas, New Year's, and birthdays. Somebody, I mean, she has something against her, definitely. It's like, when you do something just because you like doing it, you don't bother anybody. But some people, even they don't even like how you are being received. They'll do something just to sabotage that. And I wonder what's the motive. Like, you're 42 years old. You know this woman bakes cake to make everybody happy on special occasions, and you're on your phone searching arsenic poisoning. Like, what is the deal with people? Like, I don't get it. Like, that's crazy. It's almost like, I don't know if it was like a jealousy thing, It's like you want people to like you too, like that, and you make things for people or something. Make things special to you. Don't have to go and sabotage somebody to the point of killing people. It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. Let me just see here if I can get more information, guys, before I finish. She was the daughter-in-law of the woman who baked the cake. There was something definitely evil going on there. I can't understand the reasoning behind it. It's almost like, there's a tradition that people do it on special occasions, and family gatherings, there's always that person who's in charge of, let's just say, making the potato salad, right? And everybody brings their separate things. And maybe people, when people really like something, they might say, we can't wait for the cake every year, looking forward to it. People envy gets people to look at that and be like, I can do it better than her, or they hate how you're being received. And I'm telling you guys, envy is a very evil thing. if you don't cast it out from you when you notice it, you need to pay attention of that. Envy only leads to murder, and like this is an example of that. That's what I'm thinking. Some type of envy was some type of envious person. She probably felt envy, or she was jealous of the attention that her mother-in-law received by doing this. They were saying this is a tradition that she did for every special occasion, this cake that she will bake. And the daughter-in-law is going to tamper the flour that she uses to bake this cake, to poison the people that are looking forward to celebrate with them. You know, when people are envious of you, they forget that you're human. You know, they forget that you're human. They forget that you have feelings. They just want to move you out of the way. This is crazy. That's the only reason that I can think of. What's the reason for a 42-year-old to do something like this to her mother-in-law? You know, it's like, it's crazy. I know people can say it's the mother-in-law, they probably hate each other. That could be it, but like, man, that's crazy. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.